We are live.
Hello, everyone. Rob, are we good to go? Let Chief settle, or?
We're all set to start.
Okay, we are starting the public Policeburg public meeting for the October 23rd, 2020. Good morning and welcome to our virtual board meeting. As we continue to hold virtual meetings, there are a few housekeeping items to keep in mind. We are streaming the public portion of this meeting live on our YouTube channel. If we happen to experience any technical difficulties with the live stream, please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and will be posted on YouTube. To those who are in attendance, your microphone has been muted, and I ask that you put your hand up if you would like to speak, and we will retain a list of speaking requests as we go. Once you are called upon to speak, please unmute yourself and proceed. We ask that you please always keep your microphone muted unless you are speaking. As it relates to voting, please raise a hand to indicate your vote when a vote is called. Should you be disconnected from the video call, please rejoin using the link previously provided. We will now begin the Peel Police Services Board meeting of October 23rd, 2020. Roll call, all members present. Yes, we do. And is there any declaration of conflict of interest by any board member? Any item being discussed today? Seeing none. And we'll continue with the meeting. The first item will be the approval of the minutes of the meeting held on Friday, September 25th, 2020. Any question, comment about these minutes? Seeing none. May I have a mover to adopt these minutes by Mr. Boughton? Do we have a seconder of the motion by Mayor Crombie? All in favor? So this is approved. The next item we have is the board members' question / announcements. Before we move to the board members' question or announcement, Chief, I understand that you have an announcement regarding our civilian awards. Please proceed, Chief.
Thank you, Chair Chadha and board members. Good morning. Thank you for your time. It is my pleasure, just before we begin the agenda, is to follow a tradition that the police service has taken thus far to acknowledge some of our civilian members in the course of their work. And the first is my pleasure to welcome Mr. Gord Izzard. He is one of our 911 communicators, call takers, and he's going to be presented with an award, but I'd like to share with you the background and story of that. This is called the Paul Sram Award, and it was established in 1994, named in honor of the late Paul Sram, who was instrumental in bringing the 911 system that we have now in the region of Peel. He worked for the region of Peel and helped bring it here. So this award is presented to a 911 call taker who takes pride in providing excellent service to the community in an emergency capacity. And this year, the 2019 award, which we didn't get to do, we're doing it this year, is Mr. Gord Izzard. Gord has been a communicator with Peel Regional Police since 2006. He performs his duties with excellence, consistently providing an effective and efficient emergency link to the citizens of Peel. Very specifically, and all of you will recall this, on Tuesday, September 24th, 2019, Mr. Izzard was working as a call taker in communications. At 3:59, Gord answered a 911 call from a frantic mother of 2 children who was at the Value Mart Plaza located at 1125 Bloor Street in Mississauga. The mother advised that she had left her 2 children, an 8-year-old and a 2-month-old, in her vehicle and entered the Value Mart store. When she returned minutes later, she realized that the vehicle had been stolen with her children inside. Despite the frantic state, as we can all imagine any of us would be in, the mother in the situation, Gord was able to elicit critical information that was vital for the responding officers. He obtained details and descriptors of the vehicle, including the license plate, the type of vehicle, including things like the fact that it's a 3-row vehicle, which, as you can imagine, for first responders would be critical if they were approaching the vehicle. He also got the color, the description of the cargo box attached to the roof, and these details were provided to the responding officers who flooded the area immediately. That quick response caused the accused to panic and drop off the children in the area of Running Brook Drive and Autumn Harvest Road, and the children were thankfully unharmed. The accused then abandoned it a short distance away. He was later identified and arrested, a 19-year-old, and prosecuted for that offense. The mother since commended Gord for his professionalism and his ability to keep calm and the continual reassurance during this critical incident, which she described as the worst moment of her life, as we can all agree upon. In December 2019, she had the opportunity to actually talk to Gord and thanked him personally for his efforts. Mr. Izzard's actions on this call are a testament to what a call taker can do. They have both the technical and soft skills required to relate to and comfort a citizen experiencing a traumatic event. And I have to say, this happens all day long. We almost take about a couple of hundred calls on average an hour in our communication system. So congratulations to Gord for being selected by his peers as the recipient of the 2019 Paul Sram Award. I guess we can't do that.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, sir.
We'll get photos later.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Gord.
you, sir.
And we thank you so much for your service. Keep us proud and the citizens proud.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Gord.
Thank you.
The next, I'd like to have Diane Santos join me. Hi, Diane. How are you?
I'm good, Chief.
Could you want to step a little closer to me? We got our masks on, so we're safe. And Diane is the recipient of the 2019 Communicator of the Year. And again, this is Diane Santos. This award, the Communicator of the Year award, is presented annually to a member of our communications team who's recognized for the dedication, professionalism, and contributions to a positive work environment and a willingness to be a team player. Each year, this recipient is selected by her peers. And you have to understand, and those of you who had a tour of our communication center, it is a high stress environment. We've gone through a pandemic where they work in close quarters. We put protocols in place. They manage day in and day out, the highest volume potentially across, Ontario, outside of maybe Toronto, volume of calls. And Miss Diane Santos has been a member of the Peel Police since October 2000. She's an exceptional employee who exemplifies commitment and teamwork. She's very compassionate to the citizens she communicates with, and she consistently puts her co-workers' needs before her own. And I know that because she even comes and visits me and pumps my tires once in a while. So she's an exceptional employee who exemplifies commitment and teamwork and compassionate. An example of this is in March 2019, she initiated the development of a debrief process for all emergency events for communicators in her office. Ms. Santos goes to great lengths to research, streamline, and document procedures for critical and major incidents. In late 2018, she put forward a proposal that communicators obtain critical incident response training in line with what the uniformed sworn members get, which was subsequently approved and resulted in several communicators completing this incident response training course. And this is a provincial level course that is traditionally given to command and control officers. So this is a great advent. In 2019, Ms. Santos organized and facilitated a Communications Acting Supervisor Day, which participated in the review of operational manuals. And Ms. Santos has been been a social convener on our platoon, planning outings, organizing annual Christmas gatherings and Secret Santa initiatives, which builds a good culture and support, because we know we got to work hard and enjoy ourselves and support each other. In 2019, Ms. Santos assumed the role of chair of the Communications Recognition Committee. She leads this committee with passion and pride, and she consistently strives for the best for our fellow coworkers. congratulations to Diane for being selected by her peers as the recipient of the 2019 Communications Award. We really appreciate the board's the time in this, because these people aren't on the front line. We don't see them often. And for us to create a space where they can be publicly recognized goes beyond words. So on behalf of my organization, thank you for the board. But it's my pleasure to present Diane with the award.
Thank you.
All the best to you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Diane.
Thank you.
And Chair Chada, thank you so much for your indulgence.
Thank you, Chief, and congratulations to both the recipients. We will now move to the board members' questions or announcements. Any board member wishes to speak or make any announcements, you're more than welcome. Mayor Crombie?
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to congratulate the chief again and our police service for entering into the agreement with the Ontario Human Rights Commission. And now that we're in the public portion of the meeting, to know if the chief wanted to make a few additional comments about how we entered into that agreement and how historic it is, and how we move forward.
Thank you. Any other board member? Seeing, hearing none.
Mr. Chair, I threw that back to the chief to make comments.
Yes.
And Ron, I'll make a comment after. Thank you.
Okay, sure.
Thank you very much, Mayor Crombie and the board. I think we first need to say that there's been a very difficult year, as we all know, in policing across sectors for the community, and that's not just pandemic related. We've seen a lot of global and localized issues. And I think it's important for me to say that the work we announced is a complex one, and it's not one which is often easily digestible by our members and the public and what it really means. But I need to say that we've got an amazing organization here, and the officers individually, collectively, are day in and day out, despite all the pressures, have really been a testament to what Canadian policing is. And they continue to rise to the occasion. We're extremely proud of them. And we also need to understand that that issues like systemic discrimination or racism, which affects systems and policies and processes, occurs across the whole sector, whether it be health, education, municipalities, justice, housing, and we own our own system. And if there are opportunities for me to tighten gaps and make sure that we are watertight so that we can continue to focus on the good work that we continue to do here, I intend on doing that, because I think the community's asked and looked at me. We've heard about defund, and we know that strengthening other systems is an important thing to do. We are focused on how we can improve mental health systems to come alongside us to reduce the demand on us. And what we're working on and what we're committing to is a bold step, because it's done voluntarily. And I can tell you, we can open the newspapers and look at judgments from the Human Rights Tribunal that they've asked or told or imposed organizations to do things. This is one which meaning we as the board and the organization have boldly discussed pre-George Floyd. These discussions started February with the commission, and it actually started a little further than that. In September 2019, Chief Paul Pedersen from Greater Sudbury, who was the president of the Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police, on behalf of every chief in Ontario, endorsed this framework. And the 7 principles are clearly outlined. We had the opportunity to share it with our members and our team. And what we've done is embark on this work to try to get into the messy gray areas to see how we can achieve it in agreed upon format. And it may take years to see this through, but we know, and I know, that there are some policy opportunities for us to improve while we also strengthen this organization. So I want to congratulate the board for being willing to step into this space. We have seen other municipalities try to tackle this discussion of, what, I'll say police reform looks like. And here's some tangible things. And I must say that, 60 or 70% of them we were going to do anyways. Some of the recommendations are things like body cameras, and, they're going to happen. And I don't mind saying that it's not a comfortable discussion, but I need to reiterate the fact that this allows us to focus on the other pieces of work. And, should the public say, what have you done, Chief, or what have you done, Board? We can point to some meaningful work while we strengthen our front line and continue to deal with big issues like gun, gang violence, road fatalities, and all the things that affect us on a day-to-day basis. This is the full suite of activities that this organization is embarking on, and I appreciate the support thus far. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. The sun is shining fully bright on your face, we can see, and we have Mayor Brown to also like to comment.
Thank you, Chair Chatha. I wanted to say, first of all, congratulations, Chief. This is a historic agreement, the first of its kind in Canada. I think this will be something that is replicated by other police forces around the country, and this is what we expected of you. We expected a chief who was going to lead on addressing systemic racism, and very glad that you've been able to put this forward in a legally binding manner that holds us to account. But I also wanted to acknowledge and get you to share a few words about something else that is also good news. Last year, we were distraught with the number of shootings on our local highways. I remember at the time asking why these shootings were happening on our highways, these gang activities, and I was told it's a convenient place to have shootings. You can get away quickly and there's no high resolution photo evidence. At the time, we were saying, Mayor Crombie and myself, we need to make Peel Region the most inconvenient place, not a convenient place for targeted shootings, the most inconvenient place. And we did some advocacy along with you to the provincial government to get funding and approval for CCTV cameras that fall in provincial jurisdiction because these are provincial highways. I wanted to see if you could update us on the success of this lobbying and what it means and why this is such an important tool for policing, and how this is going to be another tool in your toolkit to keep us safe.
Absolutely. Thank you, Your Worship. And I first want to say we're very appreciative of the direction and support and advocacy from the board to the province and the province's ability to support us. But as we all know, whether it's a residential break and enter, a violent crime where somebody's hurt, the ability to have a physical eyewitness is almost rare, if not non-existent these days. Our investigators have pieced together some of the most complex crimes simply because we were able to access a video camera from a convenience store or somebody's door front. And what happens is when you have the two largest cities in one region and the convergence of every major 400 series highways through here with an airport, and the transient nature of certain crimes such as gun and gang violence, they know that as quick as they can pull a trigger, they can egress out of a community unidentified, without any eyewitnesses. And we saw that. We saw that, an unintended victim as Jason Ramkishun and his tragic death on a 400 series highway, mistaken identity, and there was no physical eyewitnesses. Our people resolved that crime, charged those involved, because we were able to pull together a storyline that was captured by videos. Thus far, we know the assets on provincial highways are dominantly related to traffic flow, not for us to be able to identify vehicles. And this is an important asset. We know that the City of Toronto for a long time has had the CCTV infrastructure that has been validated and approved by the Privacy Commission and federal and provincial standards. This grant that is under the CCTV public safety paradigm is one which will help us interconnect the 410, 403 series and we're very appreciative of the grant funding. It will also line with the digital and technology base that we're moving forward on, and interconnectivity right back to Real-Time's Operations Center. And it is a very significant activity in tightening the safety net. And we will hear very shortly. And if you can indulge me, I just want to ask Deputy Chief Andrews to quickly comment on a road fatality that we were able to resolve as a result of these public safety cameras. Mark, are you able to quickly jump in? I'll give you a few seconds to just comment on that.
Thank you, Chief, to the board. Just to sort of, by way of background, on September 10th, 2020, just after midnight, we responded to a three-vehicle collision in the city of Mississauga at Highway 10 and Mineola Road. As a result of the collision, a 19-year-old man was pronounced deceased at the scene. Subsequent investigation revealed that Mr. Peter Sims, a 46-year-old from Orangeville, who had 2 prior impaired convictions, was charged with dangerous operation, and dangerous operation caused death. This might have been the end of the investigation, but as a result of our Major Collision Bureau working closely with the city of Mississauga and utilizing advanced camera technology that was available in the area, we were able to determine that a vehicle that was not involved in the collision had been engaging in dangerous and aggressive driving behavior in conjunction with the accused Peter Sims. That video and detailed investigation by our MCB, our Major Collision Bureau, identified a 19-year-old male, Mr. Mohammed Natur, who was subsequently, though not involved in the collision himself, was identified, tracked, and located and charged with dangerous operation caused death and dangerous operation caused bodily harm, amongst several other charges. You know, leveraging technology appropriately enabled us to be impactful and effective in furthering the cause of justice. You know, some of this technology already exists at the city and regional level, and we are building capacity as an organization to leverage that technology appropriately, as the chief was discussing.
Thanks, Mark. And so that's a brief snapshot of something very recent. It's not even a gun safety issue, but we would not have identified somebody participating in street racing before the fatality that, you know, possibly led to the death of an innocent 19-year-old. So the value of these cameras, which we would never had because there wouldn't have been an eyewitness to tell us that. We sincerely appreciate that and the province's support. We, again, with the greatest of thought and planning, will be implementing this system that will be fully considerate of all the considerations that have been previously identified by provincial standards and privacy commissions for the sake of public safety. So we thank you for that opportunity, and we'll turn it back to the chair.
Thank you, Chief. Member Vice Chair Atia had some comment to make, I believe. Ahmed?
Thank you. I just wanted to also congratulate Chief Nish and his management team and all the individuals at the OHRC for their cooperation and involvement in coming to this MOU. I think it's important to further highlight that this agreement and this initiative is, you know, while it directly responds to a lot of the concerns of our communities in Peel and a lot of the issues of the day, and will make Peel Police better, it's not a reaction to all of these concerns. This initiative started far before and is, you know, and it was initiated in part of the vision that Chief Nish has brought to Peel Police, the, you know, initiatives that he's very dedicated to. And it's been a pleasure, I think, for the board and our governance committee to work with him on this. And you know, he has a lot of great ideas. He has a lot of important things that he wants to do with his team. And this was one major step, and it took a lot of work. And so congratulations, Chief Nish, for getting this done. And we look forward to the outcomes of this process. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Atia. So if no further announcements, I would like to move on to the deputations, which is the next item we have in our agenda. The deputations have been sent to each board members and appears on our public agenda. The first deputation is from the Stop Police Profiling Group. Are there any comments regards to this deputation from any board members or anyone here to make the comment on it? Mr. Ratia, go ahead, please.
One question. I could not find any, when I Googled it or searched, I couldn't find any reference to this group, Stop Police Profiling Group. And I'm just curious if we know who, where this group is based. Are they from Peel? Are they, and who's, who are the individuals who represent this group? Do we have any indication, or is it just a generic email that came to us? Thank you.
Sure. I guess Rob is, okay, go ahead, please.
So this Stop Police Profiling Group is a collective of individuals who in the past have made deputations to the board and wish to make the deputations anonymously. We have a policy in which individuals will need to provide us with some information before we make that public. So what they've done is they got together as a collective to present deputations under this Stop Police Profiling banner.
Thank you, Rob. So if no further comment, I call...
Ron, if I could just say one thing, it's Mayor Brown.
Yep.
I had the chance to meet with this group with Mayor Crombie and MPP Annan, and just to say that there's real pain, and they've gone through some incredible tragedy, and it's good that everyone has outlets to express their frustration. One thing that I found when meeting with them is there was some, confusion over the responsibilities and authority of the board and what would be within provincial jurisdiction. And I'm not sure if Rob or the chief want to speak to this, because I know Mayor Crombie and myself are advocating. We did an op-ed in the Toronto Star on SIU reform, but in terms of some of the specific requests, maybe it'd be helpful to just put on the record what lies under the responsibility of the Solicitor General, the Premier, and the Police Act that are beyond the authority and the mandate of this board. We wouldn't have the legal authority to change.
Sure. I think, Sharon, maybe I can lean on you for probably a more succinct response to that if you want to hear.
Just a point of clarification, I think Mayor Brown jumped ahead. There are two distinct groups, two distinct deputations, correct? He may be referring to the second one.
Yes, I was referring to the Moulton delegation.
Thank you for correcting Mayor Crombie. Mayor Brown, I'll be coming to that deputation right after this one. Okay, so if no further question in regards to the Stop Police Profiling Group's deputation, may I have a mover to receive this deputation?
Mr. Chair, was the question answered sufficiently? We don't know anything about this group, Rob Serpe, or we do, or they want to?
But my understanding is, sure, Mayor Crombie, but my understanding is Rob already answered to this, and but if still any more discussion, anyone wants to make a comment, you're more than welcome. If not, looking for a mover to receive this deputation. May I have a mover? By Mayor Crombie. May I have a seconder? By Mr. Atia. All in favor? This is received. The second deputation is from the Malton's People Movement. Are there any comments in regards to this deputation, as Mayor Brown has already made the comment? Anybody else here to make any comment? Mayor Crombie, please go ahead.
As Mayor Brown has indicated, he and I and the MPP for the area met with this group for about 2.5 hours a few months ago. And there is certainly a lot of pain which they conveyed to us and a lot of healing that has to be done. But certainly their grievances are very real, and we listened, and we are working with this group, and we will continue to meet with them, and hopefully we can resolve at least some of their issues. As Mayor Brown said, many of the items they raised are not within our jurisdiction. Certainly they require changes to the Police Act, and we encourage them to meet with their MPP rather than with the mayors. And so hopefully they will set up those meetings as well. So very few of their actual grievances were the responsibilities of the municipalities, but nonetheless, the grief they feel is very real, and we take a lot of empathy in their pain and want to assist in any way we can. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other member would like to make a comment on this? If not, then looking for a mover and a seconder to receive this deputation. May I have a mover, please?
Well, does Sharon want to speak to it?
I can, Mayor Brown. I think I would simply echo the comments of Mayor Comby. A lot of the requests in this deputation are aimed at revisions to the Police Services Act, which we've discussed at these meetings before, are underway now. The legislation itself has been called into force. The government is working on regulations, which are, real places to make change. And I would echo the mayor's comments that while these changes are underway, it's a good time for these groups to raise their concerns with the government and have those changes recognized at that level. It's not really in our hands right now.
Okay, thank you, Sharon. Any other comment by any board member here? If not, then looking for a mover and a seconder to receive this deputation. May I have a mover? By Mayor Crombie, seconded by Mr. Boughton. All in favor? This is carried and approved.
Ron, can I make one comment about the first deputation? I know we've passed it, but
sure.
There are a couple points about body-worn cameras and video usage of video evidence. Or can we just at least recommend that the chief's management team take these into consideration as they're developing the policies around body-worn cameras? That's all. Thank you.
Sure.
And through the chair there, I will acknowledge that Deputy O'Duarty and I spoke about some of the comments from the deputation, and they certainly will be considered as part of our consultation and our ongoing process.
Okay. So we had a very short public portion for today's meeting. So this concludes the public portion of the Peel Police Services Board.
Sorry, Chair, there's still the strategic plan presentation.
I'm sorry, I missed something.
Chair, if I can, I would happily introduce this part of the agenda.
Sure, please.
Thank you, Chair Chada. As the board well knows, because of their time and energy placed here, it's again another milestone for me to be able to say we are proud to have worked with the board on the board's strategic plan. The board has worked with our team to conduct a significant amount of public consultations, key stakeholders, as well as our internal members to help inform this strategic plan, which is, as you know, a requirement under the Police Services Act for us to have in place. This 2020 to 2023 strategic plan is a real evolution of our shift and change that the board and this police organization are aiming for, really to get to the heart of real community safety and public safety issues in a very progressive, contemporary way. And I just want to commend the board for including language that even as of yesterday, with the region of municipality finishing their community safety well-being plan, mirrors the same language that the board has included in theirs. So, with that, I'll perhaps turn it over to Deputy O'Duarty, who may be turning it over to somebody else, I suspect.
Actually, Chief, the great thing about going after you is you don't leave much left to be said. So thank you for that. I will, if you don't mind, share my screen briefly, and would like to highlight the strategic plan and some of the work. Before I do that, I would be remiss not to mention Ms. Bev Mullins, Sheila Doyle, and Christine Yoshiki for their dedicated work to pulling together the information and the engagement pieces as was recommended by the board through many of our meetings together. So thank you for that. I'll just share my screen. I just need host permission.
Please, someone grant the permission to Deputy O'Duarty.
You should be good to go now.
I'm hoping you can see the strategic plan up on your screen right now.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So just to reiterate, thank you to the board for taking quite a bit of time to inform the plan and provide direction to the police service. We were able to inform the plan ourselves, utilizing recommendations on stakeholder engagement, both internally and externally, our community consultations, folding in the community safety and well-being plan, understanding the needs of our racialized communities, and of course, our employee feedback. The plan was built upon the shoulders of our community and consultations within our community, workshops and surveys, some of which the board did attend themselves to participate in. So we did engage with municipal council, our diverse communities and band councils, our school boards, other community organizations, business partners, and members of the public, and our youth, which were key to putting this plan together. From there, we collated the information and we developed our mission, vision, and core values. You can see them on the screen, and for members who are joining in by audio, I'll just take a brief moment to read. Vision, a safer community together. Mission, to protect the rights and well-being of all through service excellence and community engagement. And our core values are trust. Trust is the foundation of what we do. Respect and honor the dignity and rights of all. Understanding and compassion. Service excellence that ensures cultural, physical, and psychological safety, and transparency and accountability. Putting the plan together, we have viewed three big buckets that would inform the activities of the police service and to ensure that we have measurables to be accountable to our community on delivering these. Community and safety and well-being together, accountability, equity, and service excellence, and inclusive, engaged, and progressive workplace. So through our community safety and well-being together lens, we look at crime prevention and response, emergency management planning and response, intimate partner and family violence. And you will note that Deputy Chief Milinovich has put together and will be reporting on our domestic violence and intimate partner violence unit, mental health and addictions as a key focus, priority populations, including youth, road safety, as we heard today from Deputy Andrews, and victim assistance and community support. For our inclusive, engaged, and progressive workplace, we wanted to understand and deliver upon cultural, physical, and psychological well-being and safety of our employees, employee collaboration and engagement to understand how we can deliver on the plan, investing in our people, not just training, but culturally, and professionally and skilled employees that represent our entire community. And to be accountable to ensure equity and service excellence, we have a collaboration and partnership and shared services goal, diversity, equity, and inclusivity in our workplace and our community, fiscal responsibility and sustainability with a lens throughout everything we do, ensure that public trust and confidence are at the forefront and that we are accountable and transparent, and we deliver service through technology, innovation, and risk mitigation. And of course, we have sustainable environmental practices. That in totality will represent our strategic plan. We have a communications plan, and the strategic plan today will be released on the PRP website and as well available in AODA format. That would conclude the presentation on our strategic plan.
Thank you, Deputy. And thank you, Chief. Chief, I would like to acknowledge the time and effort required to put this strategic plan together, and would also like to thank the Governance Committee and the rest of the board for your leadership on this new STEP plan. I call to move to receive the presentation and report as information by Mr. Boughton, seconded by Mr. Howell. All in favor? This is approved. So before we adjourn today's meeting, I believe the Chief would like to provide an update on one more file that will benefit our community. Chief?
Thank you, Chair Chadha. And as the board would be aware, part of the legislated requirements in 2018, the Solicitor General's office embedded in the new act as it progressed is the requirement for municipalities to have a community safety well-being plan formalized as per the legislative requirements outlined in the act before 2021. And as we know, the pandemic occurred and the province has extended the guidelines, the time frame for municipalities to do this. I need to highlight the fact that the board with the region embarked on this journey in late 2018 and 2019 to pull together a community safety well-being plan. Mr. Serpe and myself, the deputies, other members of the board have been aware of it. I've been working with a systems leadership table, which is a combination of regional staff, elected officials, including Chair Yanika and some regional councillors, and leaders of various systems to pull together this plan. This plan was presented to Regional Council yesterday and was unanimously approved, which is a significant milestone which the board should probably also take stock in as another accomplishment. Many regions and many boards asked the province to defer their ability to complete the plan. And I think, kudos to the staff and team that pushed through the pandemic and still embarked on significant consultation and formulating its framework. Now that it's in hand, it will set out the work plan for a variety of big issues, which our my men and women deal with every day, including intimate partner violence, the gang and gun violence, mental health and addictions. It actually tightens the net. So I think what we will do as my team will bring it forward for the next board meeting officially as an information item perhaps attach the region's community safety well-being plan, and perhaps comment on how we intend to, inclusive of the strategic plan, to embody it here within the organization. So Chair Chad, I just wanted to make sure we acknowledge the hard work by Interim Chair and Commissioner Nancy Paulsonelli, Brian Laundrie at the region, and region staff.
Thank you, Chief. Well, that, if no other comment, that concludes the public portion of the Peel Police Services Board meeting. We will adjourn for 5 minutes and then move in camera through Zoom conferencing. Thank you, everyone.